At the same time, we must control the borders. Today, people are risking their lives to flee when they travel at sea between Turkey and Greece. Turkey, therefore, plays an important role, and it is together with Turkey that we must find solutions so that the refugees can stay close to their country of origin. And we need to make sure that the required controls, the checks are implemented at the border. On Thursday, I will be traveling to Moscow to meet with Vladimir Putin. And I will tell him that France can work together with Russia if Russia concentrates its military action on Daesh. Against ISIL, and if Russia fully commits to the political solution in Syria. This is what we want to do. We want to gather all countries. All those who are willing to find and to implement a political solution in Syria. We do not want to exclude anyone, but we want to make sure that this political solution can eradicate terrorism. Lastly, next week, that is, on Monday, we will be hosting, in Paris, the climate conference. I certainly could not imagine that this conference would be taking place against such a background. At the same time, I think there cannot be any better symbol or response but to hold the conference in Paris where the attacks took place. Where we took the right measures in terms of security protections as well as in defending our values. There is no greater symbol than holding this conference on climate in Paris with some 150 heads of state and government. Never before did France host so many leaders of the international community. They're coming to sort out the climate challenge, and again. To work and to find the right agreement so that we can limit greenhouse gases emissions and make sure that our children and our grandchildren live better, or simply can live. But they are also coming to express their support to freedom. To the fight against extremism, that radical Islam which is becoming dangerous. Yes, all of them are coming no matter their background, no matter their religion. Their convictions, to express the same principle, the same values with the same word life. Yes, simply life. And this is the reason why I am very pleased that President Obama will allow us to succeed. I commend his recent statements over the past few weeks and months. But I also commend the commitments he's made in the name of the United States, as well as in the name of the world. It was very important that one of the most powerful countries in the world, if not the most powerful, and therefore with the highest level of emissions, could also be there to face the future like we've been facing history. What we will be doing early next week in Paris means that we can continue to live. As well as protect our lives and that of all children. France and the United States, given their history and the founding values of both our nations. Given our spirits, we both have that duty to act as a matter of urgently against terrorism and against Daesh, and at the same time, to prepare for the future. Against that background, even though it is a very dire one, I'm pleased to be with Barack Obama to send across that message to the entire world. Thank you. President Obama, we've got time for a few questions. I'm going to start with Roberta Rampton of Reuters. Question, thank you. This is a question for both of you. First, what is your reaction to Turkey shooting down a Russian plane today? And does this draw NATO into a confrontation with Russia? How do you keep this from spiraling out of control? And, President Obama, what does this incident mean for future prospects? Of military coordination, more military coordination with Russia? And, President Olan, ahead of your trip to Moscow on Thursday. What are the prospects for closer military coordination with Russia, given what happened today? President Obama, well, first of all, we're still getting the details of what happened. And I expect to be in communications, potentially directly. With President Erdogan sometime over the next several days. Turkey, like every country, has a right to defend its territory and its airspace. I think it's very important right now for us to make sure that both the Russians and the Turks are talking. To each other to find out exactly what happened, and take measures to discourage any kind of escalation. I do think that this points to an ongoing problem with the Russian operations in the sense that they are operating very close to a Turkish border. And they are going after a moderate opposition that are supported by not only Turkey but a wide range of countries. And if Russia is directing its energies towards DACE and ISIL, some of those conflicts or potentials for mistakes or escalation, are less likely to occur. I also think this underscores the importance of us making sure that we move this political track forward as quickly as possible. Like President Olan, our view from the start has been that Russia is welcome to be part of this broad-based coalition that we've set up. There's never been a point in time in which we said that we don't want Russia or other countries that may have differences with us on a whole host of other things to avoid working with us against ISIL. The challenge has been Russia's focus on propping up Assad rather than focusing on ISIL. I had a conversation with President Putin in Turkey, and I indicated to him at the time that to the extent that they make that strategic shift focus on the Vienna process, where they have been constructive. To try to bring all the parties together, try to execute a political transition that all parties would agree to. And refocus attention on going after ISIL, then there's enormous capacity for us to cooperate. Until that happens, it's very difficult. It's difficult because if their priority is attacking the moderate opposition, that might be future members of an inclusive Syrian government. Russia is not going to get the support of us or a range of other members of the coalition. But I do think that there is the possibility of cooperation. the sooner we agree to this political process, the less likely that you have the kinds of events that took place, apparently, today. President Olan, as interpreted. The event that took place is a serious one, and we can only regret it. Turkey is currently providing all of the information to NATO so that we can find out what truly happened and whether Turkey's airspace indeed was entered into. But we must prevent an escalation that would be extremely damageable. The only purpose is to fight against terrorism and Daesh. This is what we must do, all of us, we, Turkey, Russia. And what just took place, like Barack said, means that we must find a solution to the Syrian crisis. Because we can see what the risks are, otherwise the risks of escalation. I, therefore, will be traveling to Russia this week because we have this resolution of the Security Council, and it does show that we must take action against Daesh, against terrorism. That resolution has been voted unanimously. In a way, that was the broadest possible coalition. Then, I will ask President Putin, as I've done before and what I told the Russians a number of times already. That the strikes must be against Daesh, against terrorism, and those who precisely are threatening us. They are threatening the Russians, like ourselves in Europe. Like France that was targeted over the past few days. We must, therefore, coordinate ourselves, cooperate. but on that basis, and make sure that we're all acting against DACE. And that will be part of the political process, one that must lead to the solution. And we all know what the parameters of the solution are or are not. We know that there's a deadlock today. Lastly, I mentioned the Charles de Gaulle aircraft carrier, which is in the east of the Mediterranean now. As a matter of fact, there are also some Russian forces. And I, therefore, agreed with President Putin that we must share our intelligence so that we can act in coordination. We must not contradict ourselves. And it's already the case, and will continue to do so. Question, as interpreted. Mr. President, the Americans have some special forces in Syria. Beyond the words and beyond what is happening, are you going to send some special forces as well to Syria? Are you considering some ground intervention there? Mr. President, beyond the emotion that we can feel here, beyond these beautiful statements. For more than a year we heard all of you saying that Assad must go, that a political transition is necessary in Syria. Mr. President. Can you today, here, in front of us, tell us a specific date, a deadline for Assad to go? President Obama, who is this addressed to? Me or for him? Question, I can translate in English, if needed. President Obama, no, no, I had the translation. You said president, and we've got two presidents here.